So I like to discuss how to handle losing partners and friends during a spiritual awakening. It's interesting to have dialogue on this right now because it just dawned on me that this is a particular aspect that I've never really dove deep in and spoken um, very intentionally towards, but it's something that has come up time and time again in different coaching sessions and different groups that I facilitate. And I want to take some time to really discuss this because I know many men um, experience this and how to navigate through that terrain when it feels like there's a certain level of breaking down, a certain level of loss that is occurring, and how really it really isn't lost in a sense, and it's actually creating a level of expansion and opportunity to create connection and relationships with those who are more in harmony and more in a um, more resonant vibration. So, first off, let's talk about the spiritual awakening. And the spiritual awakening in itself, it is, there's many different definitions of this, but I think one of the most simple ways to describe it would be it is a period or time in life where there is a huge shift in one's, whether it be beliefs or one's perception of their reality. There's an awakening process within this. So maybe, one has been living their life from a certain perception or a certain belief system for, most of their life. And then they reach this point or this period where the aspects and the things that they believed, they are not only examining those, but they're seeing different um, layers and different nuggets around that is completely changing and shifting their perception of reality. And whenever this is occurring, there can definitely be this sense, whether it's, feeling lethargic or tired, whether it's feeling like you want to spend a lot of time alone, even maybe more so than is typical. Uh, Maybe some of the things that used to give you a sense of joy and excitement, you're not really feeling that anymore. Um, and there can be a level of um, of of concern during these particular periods. It can be a sense of what's wrong with me. Maybe that is a question or a thought that you've had, if you've gone through this particular period. And in this video, I just want to talk a little bit about not only how to navigate through that, but why ultimately it truly isn't a loss from the beginning. So I know I've spoken a little bit about this before, but we're all energy beings. We all vibrate at a certain resonance at a certain level. And frankly, our vibration is dependent upon how we not only take care of ourselves, how we, what our mindsets are, how we are connected to our hearts, how we are connected to um, ultimately expressing ourselves and being the version of ourselves that is taking us to our highest essence and our highest level. And when we are in that process, there can be these periods of time where we're really shifting and expanding into a higher essence that ultimately is letting go. And in a sense, there's an old part of ourselves that is dying. And during this particular time, the ego can really play a part in some of the aspects around really feeling deep loss and feeling deep hurt and feeling like a sense of attachment to some of these different shifts or these changes that are occurring. And what can happen, especially, within friendships, is maybe you have a core group of friends that you've known for a particular period of time, and you've done things together. Maybe you've gone on trips together. Maybe you've hung out, gone to bars together. You've drank with these particular people. You've had conversations with these people, and these are people that you trust, and you know that they're good people. However, through the awakening process, maybe you notice that the conversations or the aspects that these particular individuals um, desire to do, maybe there's no longer a sense of harmony or resonance within that. And it can be really easy during these times to question yourself, to maybe even have this thought of what's wrong with me. Like, why is it that I'm no longer interested in X, Y, and Z? Why is it that I no longer want to hang out with X, Y, and Z? And it can feel like a really lonely period. And what I want to say is just know that during this particular period, the best thing that you can do is two things. One is just surrender. Surrender and be open to the process of expansion, to the process of becoming even more clear on your wants and your desires, and ultimately who it is that you have a true inclination to be around. And two, to know that with the right mindset and the right intention, and focusing again on what it is that you want and who it is that you choose to be around, that naturally you'll put yourself in places and positions to attract those people into your reality. So I use myself as a brief example. I remember a few years back, this would have been probably about 7 years ago. Um, I really started to read a lot around nutrition and health and certain aspects around mindset, and was really having all of these insights and these nuggets where a part of me no longer had a deep desire to really spend as much time doing the nightlife scene. I had let go of alcohol for a particular period. I stopped going out. I stopped doing these different things that for years consistently was a part of my routine. And during that awakening process, there was a certain level of, friendships that naturally dissolved because those friendships were created from a different vibration of doing things that were frankly no longer of any interest to me anymore. And here's the beautiful part about this, if you find yourself experiencing this in the present moment, is to know that we're always going to be shifting and changing as human beings. And for those who are more intentional, lifelong learners, who have more of a propensity to really tap into their highest essence and to navigate and to move forward in life, then ultimately what will end up happening is you'll continue to change and continue to level up. And as you continue to change and you continue to level up, there will be individuals who will continue to level up and change with you. And maybe those are relationships that you can continue to navigate and continue to keep close. And ultimately, there'll be some that will be dissolved. And the key is just knowing that it's okay either way. Knowing that there is a certain level of grace when there's any type of new change, and knowing that all it's doing is preparing you for the opportunity to step deeper into your highest essence and to step deeper into what it is you're here to do on the planet.